Hey there! Welcome to the Distracted Librarians podcast. We're your friendly neighborhood bookworms with a penchant for all things pop culture.
Picture this as our digital campfire, where we dive into our latest obsessions, analyze our favorite distractions, and rediscover the joy of reading.
Whether you're a media enthusiast, a book lover, or just need a break from the daily grind, you've come to the right spot.
So kick back, relax, and get delightfully distracted with us.
Hey everybody! On this episode of the Distracted Librarians, we're going to talk about a book's journey through the library. This is kind of an interesting topic, just because I don't think most people realize what happens with the book.
I like all the steps that it goes through to get back on the shelf, get on the shelf in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I'm Nicole.
I'm Killian.
And I'm Drew.
All right, so a book's journey. Where should we start with this? Well, let's start at the very beginning.
A very good place to start.
At the very beginning. Well, which we could consider, what is the beginning? It's probably like when we purchased the book, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. All right. So, as librarians, we purchase books for our collections. Sometimes we have specific collections that we purchase for. I know at other libraries, we have been responsible for just buying all of the kids' books or whatever. But at our library, we have specific collections. Drew, what is your collection?
I buy for the DVDs, for adult and teen graphic novels, and for world languages.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I purchase the popular series books for fiction and nonfiction. And I am also in charge of like the animal books in the nonfiction collection and also some of the art stuff.
I primarily in nonfiction work with part of the natural sciences, the stuff up before the animals.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of different topics in the STEM area, because I also purchase for our STEAM kits. Mm-hmm. I am also the overseer of our folklore, fairy tale, Mother Goose, etc., collection, which is its own major project at the moment.
Sure.
But also the collection of my heart. And then I also do purchasing for any of our audiobook collections, so the Wonder Books and Vox books that make up the read-alongs. Once upon a time, the audiobook CDs, we're not buying as many of those anymore. But also our digital books on Libby. So any of our ebooks and our e-audio there for youth, I do the selection for those.
Yeah. So we typically, as librarians, will go through like peer-reviewed magazines and things like that. And that's where we find a lot of the books that we purchase. But there are other ways. Do you guys only do magazines when you're purchasing books, or?
I almost never do magazines because none of mine are written in magazines.
Oh, okay.
If I were purchasing for one of the fiction collections or one of those, I would stick more closely to those.
Okay.
And graphic novels are written in them occasionally. I do still go through the magazines, A, to find the ones that are reviewed like that, and B, to just keep myself up to date for readers advisory purposes and everything else.
Okay.
But I typically have to find reviews of graphic novels in the wild.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I have a few sites that I'll check religiously.
Okay.
I have a habit of going to Barnes & Noble at least once a month and just taking a picture of the entire teen graphic novel shelf.
Perfect excuse to go to a bookstore. I love that.
And I use that excuse.
I love that.
Yeah. Because we actually need excuses.
And then DVDs are purchased through Midwest Tape.
Okay.
And they have their own internal ranking of how frequently a DVD has been looked for on their site. They have reviews of it. They have the Rotten Tomato score ratings, things like that.
So they make it pretty easy for you to pick out things. So we pick out an item, we purchase it, and then what happens?
So at that point, we just kind of wait for it to show up at the library from wherever we're ordering it from.
Yes.
And all of our orders come in through our material services department, who handle all of the taking care of the books physically. So any of the processing of them that doesn't come already done.
Cataloging.
For things like the Steam kits. A lot of times it's, here's a bunch of random items and the bag they go in. Make it look like it looks like on the shelf and create the entire record for it because that's not something we can pull from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They also do a lot of our repairs.
They do.
So.
Yep. And so they enter the item into our database of items, and they put the barcodes on them, and they security strip them, and all of that good stuff.
And if it's a physical book, they'll put or a hardcover book at least, they'll put the protective plastic around the sleeve so that it doesn't get torn. They'll put our call numbers on it so we can know where to put them on the shelves.
They recently did a demonstration of that for us at the library. I don't know if either of you got to
I
go
was there,
watch
yeah.
them demo putting that stuff all on a book. And it's me watching it going, this would take me so long, but because they just do it.
They do it so fast.
They're talking to us and just getting I'm like, magic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Shout out Laura for the wonderful presentation.
Definitely. Okay, so then circulation. So an item is now available for circulation, and somebody picks it up off the shelf. So then what happens?
So there are two paths to it. It could be that a patron did just pluck it off the shelf. They take it up to circulation, do the whole checkout, scan your library barcode, set you up with a library card if you need one, and assign the book to your account. There's also the path of if you put a hold on the book ahead of time. And if that's the case, then either adult and teen services or youth staff will go out, or circulation staff will go out into the stacks and find the book for you and take it back to circulation, assign it to your account, and get it all set up to go on the hold shelf.
Yes. And I would like to speak about this process just because sometimes we have confusion. Our patrons will come in, they'll be like, I put a book on hold, where is it? And it takes a little while sometimes. We literally have a person periodically throughout the day. It's not constantly happening, but they go out to the shelves, pull the books, and then it has to be assigned to the person it belongs to, put on the hold shelf, and then you are notified that the book is available for you. So generally speaking, if you haven't gotten the notification that it's available, it's probably not on the shelf for you. And sometimes it gets stuck in this like ether area where like it's on a cart somewhere in the library, but nobody knows where it is. And if you haven't gotten the notification, you're probably just going to confuse everybody by like looking for it.
Our patrons, though, are really lucky. We have enough staff that we have people going out to pull holds throughout the day.
Yes.
Whereas other libraries that I've worked at, it's something that is done in the morning before we open. So if you place a hold at noon, it's not even being looked for until the next day.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of staffing and time and all of that, depending on where you are.
Yeah, every library is going to be a little bit different on that. Okay, so let's say a person returns the book now.
We hope you enjoyed it over your 3 weeks.
Yes.
Or longer if it auto-renewed.
Yes.
Yeah, because that is a nice little option there. When it gets returned to us, it can go into two places. We have a box that you can drop your items into yourself, or there is an automated drop box that is available on the outside of the building. And those items are checked in by this crazy big machine that then sorts it into all these different areas so that circulation staff can just grab a cart, basically. They grab the items out of this box and they put it on a cart, and then it gets sent back over to the department it belongs to.
That machine is so cool.
It is very cool. I
will
feel like it
say-
eats things sometimes, though.
Yeah, things get weird a little sometimes. If you are doing the drive up, please read the signage because there's a couple different places you can drop things. If you have a book that came from a different library, our automatic sorter is not going to know what to do with it. That's why there's another drop box for them.
Yes.
Yeah, all of the books that get processed when they're initially brought in through material services are given a sort of shelf code in terms of the grouping. So it recognizes this is an adult DVD, this is a youth book, this is a etc. And they have 6 or 7 different bins that the materials get sorted into, and the machine does it automatically. It reads the barcode and processes reads the RFID tag more usually, and processes where it's supposed to be, and then has a conveyor belt system to drop it into one of the 6 or 7 slots. It's fascinating to watch them come in.
It is really cool.
Because if you don't know what's happening, it's just kind of like, how does it know what's going on? Because it just sorts them.
And then there's always the items that it's not sure about. And I think it just like dumps it down the end.
The shame bin at the end.
I don't know. You figure it out.
I don't know what you are. You go down there. Have you guys ever worked in a different department than the department you work in now?
So, yes.
Okay.
Yep, I worked in youth for the first year and a half.
Okay.
And then when I was an intern, I was back in adult services, but the media department was sort of separate then.
Okay.
So it sort of existed in its own space. But when I was in youth, I was a clerical assistant. So I wasn't too intimately familiar with the details of this. I was helping the beautification of the room and helping with programs and things like that.
Cool.
I have not worked in a different department in our library. As a librarian, I've only ever been part of youth departments, whether as a teen librarian at a previous library or youth librarian here. But when I got my first library job, it was a very small library that didn't have departments.
Oh, okay.
So my actual job title there was programming assistant, and I was just doing all of the programming for the library, like coordinating all of it. But I did also occasionally step out and help with, they only had one desk, so it was circulation, reference, whatever, all in one.
Okay.
I would occasionally help with pulling holds or help with shelving, just based on what needed to be done and what our staffing was at any given time.
Okay.
So it was kind of a little bit of everything. Also helping with computers happened a lot from that desk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, small libraries, you kind of do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have worked in libraries for a very, very long time. I was a library page when I first started, when I was 17. And then I worked in bookstores for a long time. But then when I got back into library land, I was working as basically a material service person. I was processing books, and I would work the circulation desk. So I had like 2 shifts. One shift would be processing all the good books that came in, and the other shift would be sitting at the circ desk helping computer questions and all of that stuff. There really wasn't there was a librarian on staff, but like a reference library. There wasn't like a librarian that sat at the desk all the time. Like he was available, but you'd have to like ask for him in the back, and he'd come out and help. So the rest of us people that were not master's degree people were kind of handling pretty much everything.
Yeah, my small library was the desk clerks who shelved, checked things out, pulled holds.
Sure.
Did most of the helping with computer questions. And were doing reference questions, which was wild.
Yeah. Then I was a teen librarian. Then I worked at a multicultural bookstore as like a PR person, and I did cataloging there. Oh my gosh, this is like, continue on, Nicole. What else? I also worked at the Bloomfield Library in administration, in media, and then in youth services. So I've been kind of all over the place. I haven't worked for adult services. It's the only thing. I feel like I've done almost everything else. Almost everything.
We'll get you someday.
I know, probably. Like at one point, I feel like I might retire in adult services. We'll have to see. Maybe.
You could pull a reverse of the adult services librarian who retired on our side and
came and
subbed
with
only
us.
in youth. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of, it's the best of both worlds, right? Absolutely.
I know a lot of people who, if they sub while they're working too, will sub only in the opposite department
Yeah.
they work in normally.
Totally. It sounds like it would be fun. All right. So this is kind of a fun little bit that we wanted to bring up is weird things left in books. And this is primarily a library thing. I mean, it might happen in a bookstore, but it's going to happen in libraries because these are items that are being returned. People just don't realize what they left in their book when they return it sometimes. So I went on Reddit to see, because as one does,
A dangerous place.
you got to go on Reddit if you want to like get the good stories. Weird things that have been left in books. Socks, which, ew.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe a baby sock or something, but
I mean,
like
I
a whole
guess if it's
person
clean,
sock.
but still, like, you need those.
Piece of bacon.
So many
No.
places have a piece of bacon story.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I would not sacrifice my bacon like that. Like, I would clearly find another thing to be my book. I'm going to eat that bacon. That is not going to go in my book and disappear forever.
Like, I guess it's vaguely bookmark shaped,
I mean, yeah.
but
But, if I'm eating bacon, I'm going nowhere near touching a book because of how greasy bacon is.
Yeah.
I don't want to get that much grease on any book.
Yeah.
I also need to know if it's cooked or not.
I would hope so. I mean, who's hanging around with uncooked bacon?
I guess, but neither option's good.
There's not a good option here.
No.
I guess at this point, I'm just assuming the worst.
Yeah. Well, and I also want to mention that some libraries have had a display. I love this idea. I think we need to do this. A display of things that have been left in books.
Do we keep them?
We don't, but we could start.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Okay.
because sometimes it's cute stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's not just like all this nastiness that I'm talking about. Sometimes it's like a drawing of their dog, like a kid's dog, or
I have a cute one.
a love note to mom, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I found in a donation book 2 or 3 years ago a cutout of the fairy godmother from Shrek 2 that's sort of loosely colored in. And it was glued onto white construction paper.
Okay.
And it already had a safety pin hanging off of it to like treat it like an ornament.
Okay.
So I attached it to my library cart, and it's been traveling with me ever since.
Oh my
How
gosh.
have I never seen this?
I don't know. I will show you.
Love that.
Beautiful.
Totally love that.
I love her so much, both in the movie and on my cart. And
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like our library is so good at cleaning out the books that we very rarely, as librarians, stumble across something left in a book.
I have more than once. Like, it's not infrequent. It'll be like a receipt someone put in as a
Okay.
bookmark, but it's slid down like so you wouldn't notice it's there. And receipt paper is so thin.
Yeah.
If it's not sticking out, you're not going to notice. And I think that's what we tend to find.
Yeah.
It's the things that weren't sticking out because we're not, giving every book a shakedown to
Right.
see if there's anything
Exactly.
tucked into it.
Yeah.
My big thing though is I do wonder. We did a Where's Waldo thing in the youth room a while back.
Oh,
where
right.
we hid 1,012 Waldos places.
Oh my gosh.
And if someone found one, they could then rehide it. And that was the danger, was letting people rehide things. Because we still occasionally will find a Waldo around the
Even
room.
now, and it's been like 2 years.
But
That's
I do
amazing.
wonder if people have found some of those Waldos in the books they've checked out.
yeah.
So if you're listening and you have found a Waldo in a children's book, you
Please
checked out,
let us know.
Please let me know, because
Yeah.
I want to know if it
We just want to
happened.
know. Okay, so Pokemon cards. I can see that.
Yep.
I buy that, yeah.
It's probably like a great bookmark, but you don't want to put like a valuable one in there. I feel
No,
like my kids would accidentally like leave the best one they have in their book because they had it on them and then be like devastated, and we have to call the library to get it back.
It's me going like, oh yeah, like magic cards, but I think people would be a little more protective of those because it tends to be.
But maybe if it's like an energy in the Pokemon cards or a mana in the
That's
magic
fair.
cards, the
Yeah.
ones that you have like a billion
Oh
of.
yeah, that
Yeah.
nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one that was listed was money. Sometimes you can get money from all around the world, which I mean that's kind of fun. That would be a very cool collection to have of money.
I left a birthday check in a library book once.
You did.
They called and we got it back.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so good. The libraries are so good.
I was like 11 and traveling with my emotional support books
As one does.
everywhere I go. And it was at, a birthday party where an aunt gave me a birthday card. And the check somehow ended up in the book.
Yeah.
I don't have answers for how that happened because it was 24 years ago. But I remember I didn't get the call because I was 11 and didn't answer the phone. It was only landlines at the time. And so my mother shouts down to the basement, "Hey, Drew, the library has your money." And I was so confused because why would I barely have my money? Again, I'm 11 years old.
Did you know it was missing, or did your mom know it was missing?
No.
Nobody knew it was missing.
Nobody knew it was missing.
Oh, okay, even better. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a big surprise.
Yeah, the library fully could have forged the check and robbed me.
Wow.
Well, see, now we have mobile check cashing, so you just cash the check before you forget it in a book.
Oh, my goodness.
Then I would have just told them to shred it at that point.
Right.
But I still might have used it as a bookmark. Who knows? But
So another thing that Redditors have found in a book is a tooth.
stop it.
I swear to God.
No.
It said a tooth. I'm assuming it was a child's tooth because I don't know how you could get a grown adult tooth in a book
Suddenly
without.
very aware of my teeth.
Is this disturbing you?
I'm just like, huh.
A child's tooth isn't flat either.
Yeah.
It's not, but they're so tiny.
I
Maybe
guess.
like one of the front teeth.
I mean,
They're a little flatter.
you have no idea how tiny a kid tooth is. It's like weird. I'm like, how it, like their tooth comes out, and I'm like, I swear I have looked at you every single day for the past 8 years, and then this tooth is in my hand, and I'm looking at it going, how is this a tooth? How is this a tooth? Like, could you eat something with that? It's so small. So I'm assuming it was a child's tooth.
Even ew.
I'm sticking to that.
I still don't want that in a book.
Why would you put a tooth in a book? Maybe it fell out while they were reading the book.
And they just didn't notice?
And then they stopped reading it clearly because how do you return something at that point? Anyway.
That's so funny.
An ultrasound photo was returned in a book, and then the library did a very good library job and returned the ultrasound photo to the people. Okay, bugs.
Oh, the bugs in the DVDs.
This is a touchy subject for librarians, or for any library staff, I think, is when a book comes back with a bug, or anything comes back with a bug.
Yeah.
That just becomes a whole situation.
It truly does. I mean, I think there was a time, like, when I was a page, that I don't think there was as much of a concern about bed bugs as there is now. And it was like, if there was a bug, it was like a ladybug or something, you know, and it wasn't like a panic situation.
No, it's terrifying.
Nowadays, it's like you're having your library fumigated, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, like lock up that room, hope that you opened it in the same room that it was initially returned.
Yeah.
Because then maybe it can be contained.
Yes.
But,
It's spooky.
I had an entire chill go up my spine
Yes.
thinking about like finding it in a book in the stacks and just having to assume the entire library is compromised.
Oh, goodness. So, yeah, there's a bug scare. If you ever want to scare a librarian, just yell bugs as you walk by.
Please don't.
Anyway, okay. So at our library, I thought it would be good to like find some true stories at our library. So I contacted the assistant department head in circulation and asked her, and she was very happy to tell me about a patron that was contacted because there was a $20 bill that was left in an audiobook. Well, when they got a hold of the patron and told him, he laughed very hard because it was meant to be a gift to his son. The audiobook was a recommendation that he'd given his son with the gift inside of it. And he said, well, clearly my son did not listen to the book that I had recommended to him, or he would have gotten the stinking $20 bill.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Moral of the story. If someone hands you the book recommendation, at least look at it.
At least look in it, so then you don't have to have that uncomfortable conversation later that you didn't listen to the book.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Also, eyelashes.
Like false eyelashes?
False
like
eyelashes.
A strip of lashes?
And that's my mic drop right there. Like, I never would have thought eyelashes.
No.
Oh, excuse
can
me.
see it.
I'm going to start reading. Let me take off my falsies and put them in here. And that's not a bookmark. That's just a place to put them for later.
Did it leave behind a mascara imprint, or would it have been like new lashes?
I mean, not everybody puts mascara over
Sure.
lashes, but
Eyelashes.
yikes.
Excuse
That's
me,
just how
ma'am.
you accidentally glue a book together, and that's a whole. I don't like it.
I just want to be the person who calls and is like, ma'am, you left your eyelashes. Please come get these. I don't want to touch them.
And like I know sometimes a lash just falls off.
Yes.
But you notice.
You would definitely notice. Yes.
Yeah, so if your eyes were suddenly imbalanced.
Yeah. Because you can feel those.
Yes. Okay, so moral of the story, please check your books before you return them. We don't want your bacon or your eyelashes.
Can I ask you guys one more question before we?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do you use as bookmarks that you would risk leaving in a book? Anything ridiculous or sentimental?
I am a Post-it note person, and that makes me really boring for this conversation.
That's fair.
I have bookmarks.
I have so many bookmarks. My problem would be I would leave like the bookmark I really like
Same.
and lose one of my favorite bookmarks.
Yeah.
I feel like I either did that once or it's in like one of the books that I own, and I've just never gone through all of the like hundreds of books in my apartment. So whenever I get new bookmarks, because it happens more frequently than it should, I will only get the ones with the tassels on them now.
Oh, so you can see them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't use those because when I'm reading, I take it out and I stick it like in the pages to hold on to it.
And then the cats.
And the cats will attack it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
But
Oh, my gosh.
You remember when you were telling me I needed a cat earlier this week?
I didn't tell you that.
No, I don't need a cat.
He's going to keep his tassels. Thank you very much.
I wasn't the one who told him that.
All right. Well, if you out there in listening land have anything to add to this conversation, please email us and let us know. And we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Distracted Librarians.
Many thanks to BCTV for their support in recording, editing, and releasing this podcast, and to the Friends of the Library for sponsoring closed captioning on every episode.
If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to us at distracted@btpl.org.
Until then, keep those pages turning and those screens lighting up. We'll catch you in the next episode.
The views and opinions expressed in the Distracted Librarians podcast do not necessarily reflect those of Bloomfield Township Public Library, Bloomfield Community Television, the Birmingham Area Cable Board, or its producers or production staff.